The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
They hail from around the globe, and though separated by oceans, they gather in the virtual world for reasons as varied as their locales. Whether it's a defending champion looking to retain his title, a new and eager hopeful driving for recognition, or a legend prepared to recapture past glory, in the end, the one goal they all share is to win. But when naming a victor, only one driver's name can be etched into the record books. You're watching the Heusinkveld Engineering MX-5 World Tour.
Where the East meets the Pacific, we come to you from Okayama International Circuit on the island nation of Japan, which today plays host to the Heusinkveld Engineering MX-5 World Tour. With 5 races remaining on the calendar, Sonny Ketchen, the two-time and defending champion, has just 5 races remaining to close the 83-point gap to the current point leader, Aeronome. And you'll be able to see all the action from green flag to victory donuts live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Konnichiwa and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. I'm Bill Soupson. Helping me call the action is the Australian sage Richard Losper. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director Joe Peak, with camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by its in-house director of photography, Dougie Beard. It's round 8 of 12 on the Heusinkveld Engineering MX-5 World Tour Season 13 schedule. And as cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 Streamy Award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the 25 laps of simulated MX-5 road course racing that will immediately follow. And now let me reintroduce my longtime partner for the MWT, Richard Losper. Richard, welcome.
Hello there, Soup, and a very good day to all our viewers as well. We are at the fabulous Japanese track called Okayama. It's been on it was opened officially in 1990, so you know, as tracks go, it's not really old. There are tracks around the world with much longer histories. But this track did in fact host Formula 1 events in 94 and 95, and both were won by the then world champion Michael Schumacher. It's a 3.37 mile track, 3.7 kilometers, I should say, or 2.3 miles. There are 13 turns on this track. There's one longish straight at the back of the track there, and that is where most of the passing will happen. Other than that, it is very tight and quite tricky. Let's have a look at our lap guide and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Alright, we've got Giancarlo Lenzi and the GSRC MX-5, so let's do a lap around Okayama. Coming up to the first turn, this is one of your best places to pass on the track. Just watch out because it's a late apex, so you could get your nose chopped off. After that, you'll want to switch sides to set up for Williams. There's some negative camber on this corner, so going too wide through here is gonna be tough. And it's not uncommon to see cars oversteer on the exit and slide into the wall on the left, so expect some action out of this area. From there, you just gotta weave your way through the Moss S and then get the car lined up for braking into Atwood. This is another potential place to get an overtake done, but if it was me, I'd wait for the exit of this long uphill right-hander. And that's because we're accelerating for quite a ways down the backstretch, and a good run off the corner is going to be very important. Plus, you add in the effect of the draft on these MX-5s and the hard braking into the hairpin, and you've got the most common passing spot on the track. Seats here are going to be the best ticket in the house. However, the amount of banking around this turn means that sometimes you can hold on in a side-by-side battle and have the inside into revolver. From there, it's a short burst into Piper, where the lack of runoff on the outside means you won't want to come out of it too hot. Then, there's a bit of a straight until Redmond, where if you've got a good run on your opponent, it's sometimes possible to spring a surprise attack. This is one of the slowest, most technical parts of the track, though. You can see, as we climb the hill, it switches back into Hobbs, another 180-degree turn. It's not that exciting of a section, but there's still time to be lost here. After that, it's only going to be a slight lift into Mike Knight and hold to the left for the best line into the final corner. This turn is deceptively fast, and carrying your momentum off of it will be critical to keep from being vulnerable into the first turn. But as long as you kept it together and on the black stuff, you finished a lap around Okayama.
To quote Carly Simon, nobody does it better. And of course, I'm talking about the voice of Joe Peak taking us around Okayama. Now, before we look at the point standings, let's review what happened last time. Round 7 on Silverstone's unique southern layout saw 29 drivers fill the grid. Defending champion Sonny Ketchen earned the pole and led the first 15 laps of the actual race. But all the fan fingers were pointing at the newcomer from Poland, Pavel Herman, who was swapping second position with the Roland Estonian Errol Num early on. Now, experience proved to be an advantage because when the pit cycle was complete, longtime series veteran Tom Ratchey found himself in third. Num got the best of Ketchen in pit lane, and the order after the stops was Num, Ketchen, and Ratchey, and that's pretty much how they ran for the final 10 laps. Now, Pavel Herman fell to 6th behind another newcomer, Jason Cooper, and Travis Swanky. And so, how does everything look after round 7? Well, with the Slovene machine, Patrick Sliss unplugged because of that injury he received while riding his motorcycle. Get well quickly, by the way, Patrick. Errol Num moves to the top of the chart. Two-time defending champion Sonny Ketchen is 83 points back and appears to be Num's only competition for the crown. There's our standings. Travis Swanky has his participation numbers looking better as the Ohio driver moves up 2 spots to the left side of the graphic. Into 4th, Sergio Mora from Portugal holds station in 5th. Now, it's all green arrows for the next 3 drivers. The California kid, Eric Garcia, Rookie of the Season candidate, Jason Cooper, and the Bay State hammer, Tom Ratchey, now 6th, 7th, and 8th. Out of drop race compensation is Deuce Allen, as his no-show at the last round moves the Buckeye Bullet 5 spots down into 9th. And David Hampson returns to the graphic in the final spot. Now, Richard, we've talked about the track, we've reviewed the last race, gone over the championship. How about we take a second and talk about the round 8 details?
Certainly, Bill. Well, let's have a look at the race details. This is season 13 and we are on round number 8. The season is 2 races longer than last season, so 12 rounds in total. There are 3 no-show compensations, which Soup will explain in a little while. It's calculated by drivers' performance throughout the season. The car, as everybody knows by now, is the Mazda MX-5. Our setups are open setups with a 30% fuel limit, which means at least 1 stop required to finish the race. They are qualifying at the moment, or just even wrapping up the qualifying. 2 laps, lone qualifier, just you against the track. The race is a 25 lap race today. There are no fast repairs. There is no incident cap, but incidents are looked at in case someone is abusing the track limits, and of course they can be protested for that, I believe. There are bonus points available for qualifying, so fastest qualifier gets a bonus point, and also miles per incident. So if you're a really clean driver, you can pick up a bonus point or some bonus points. The weather is dynamic, and today let's have a good look at the weather real quick. We have 32 degrees on track, mostly cloudy, so it's going to be damp out there, and that'll make for some fast times. The humidity is very high, 78%, and not much wind to talk about. Bill, back to you.
Richard, let's talk a little bit about this track, and I want you really to give your unvarnished opinion here. I'm going to tell you mine. I like this track. I think it's a nice mix of technical sections and long sections where you can actually pass in the draft. Between like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way around to the last corner, number 11. Really tough to make a pass in there, isn't it, Richard? But there are some places where it opens up.
Yes, they are. Now, I've got mixed feelings about this track. I'm reasonably competent on this track, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites. The first half of the track, from the first corner, which is corner number 1, all the way through to Atwood Curve, which is a hairpin which takes you onto the long back straight there. That's the good part of the track, in my opinion. From turn number 5 onwards, which is the real hairpin corner, and it's called the hairpin corner, around through 6, 7, 8, and 9, that's the very tough part of the track. It's just corner after corner. Turn number 6, Revolver, then Piper, then Redmond, then Hobbs, and then finally you come through a little kinky, well, I won't say a kinky section, a kink, which then is turn number 10, the Mike Knight corner, and that takes you to the open section. You go through turn number 11, the last corner, and back onto a shortish front stretch. So very tricky from turn 5 all the way to turn number 11, Bill. That's a lot of corners squeezed into about a quarter of the track.
Now, we talked about some of the drivers that aren't here. Of course, Patrick Fliss is recovering from his motorcycle injury. Arrow Num is here, though, so is Sonny Ketchen. Travis Swenke not here as he's coaching lacrosse, so good luck with that. Hope you get a win today, Travis. He's sitting 4th in the points. And also Sergio Mora not here, but a little smaller size grid than we're used to seeing, Rich.
Yes, there are at the moment something like 21 cars actually in the race. I'm not sure. It's 22 that have put in a time, and there's one driver there, Richard Losper, who has not posted a time. I'm not sure what's up with him, but we'll see if he takes the grid there. I doubt very much that he will. But right now qualifying is done, Bill, so let's have a look here what has happened. It doesn't look as if Sonny Ketchen's got the pole today. No, it doesn't look that way.
Yeah, now a little bit earlier we took a recorded lap around this quirky layout here, but to get an idea of what the track is like right now, let's go ahead and talk to one of the drivers that's been out there. And we're going to talk to, of course, Eric Coleman in the car number 81. He's in a good mood today. Eric, did you have fun in qualifying?
It didn't go as well as I hoped to be.
Well, you got some guys behind you. You're back there in 17th. It looks like you got Benjamin Nelson and Jordy Fike around you. Those guys, you've raced with them before. You feeling comfortable? You can get around the first lap clean?
I'll certainly try to. I'm not sure about... I didn't got much practice today, but oh well. You know, it happens.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, so Eric... out there, it seems to me that the weather's quite grippy, so it should be a good race today for you.
Normally it is. Certainly, I just don't have it today. I just don't feel like I'm going to be able to compete really good.
Okay, well, we wish you the best of luck anyway. I'm sure you'll do better once you get into the meat of the race. Good luck.
Thank you very much. We're not going to discuss any hobbies of certain persons?
No,
No.
we're good. No. Yeah, that's a little inside joke there about where Travis Winky really is today. Okay. You know what? Sometimes I've been back in Eric's position right now where you just don't think you're going to have a good race. Some of my best races, I've been ones where I've surprised myself and said, oh my gosh, where did I get that one from? So practice is overrated. You know, my dad used to say practice is the crutch for the untalented. So if you want to think of it that way.
I can't agree with you there. It's a good thought, but it's the crutch for those people who have no talent, I think.
Okay, let's go ahead and
practice is overrated.
let's go ahead and look at the grid. Well, here's a guy who must have put in some practice time. Robert Hartley on the pole inside of Sonny Ketchen, the Roland Estonian Aero Num, and Pavel Herman in row 2. Brian Holmes, a newcomer, the California kid Eric Garcia, fill up row 3. Dries Nice and Michael Wright, that's the nephew of Billy Bob, sitting in 7th and 8th. And 9th and 10th, Yasuo Shiraiwa and the Bay State Hammer, Tom Ratchie. Richard?
Yeah, and now we go to row number 6, coming up very shortly. There it is. Joop Willemsen in 11th place and Patrick Post in 12th place. Robert Wallinga in 13th place with Lee Diemer, another rookie for this season, in 14th place. Claudio Del Pina Vasquez is in 15th place. That's a newcomer. And then Benjamin Nelson returning for a race in 16th place. Eric Coleman, who we just spoke to, is in 17th place on row number 9. And Jordy Fike in 18th place. Then we have Jeroen Ursum in 19th place. And rounding out the top 20 is Rodrigo Lepre.
And then on the last row there, you see Trip Smith and Zachary Rubin, and then Richard Losberg Doppelganger, who also joined accidentally into the race instead of coming into the commentator's booth. But we'll just ignore him. Some people try to get attention any way they can. Let's go ahead. And now they start to grid up out there. Robert Hartley, Richard, we've seen him fast. I don't know if we've ever seen him on the pole before, so that's certainly impressive. He must like this Japanese track.
Robert likes it. I've seen him racing in the rookie series on this track, and he is fast here. So he's going to be a good competition here for Sonny Ketchen, as will Aeronam and Pavel Herman. Don't discount Brian Holmes either as they get ready for a start. Back to you, Bill.
All the thank yous being handed out, all the good lucks from everybody over the microphones right now as we get ready to start this thing. Still waiting for some of the drivers to get out there. We don't have quite a full field. Now I think we've got them all out there as our pole sitter finally takes the spot. Robert Hartley clearly wanting to wait, give us time, give the commentators time to get through the whole grid. We're ready to go. This is round number 8 of the Heusinkveld Engineering MX-5 World Tour season number 13, and we are at the familiar confines of Okayama. It's the big course today. Look at those two of those cars lined up in that Dougie Beard camera angle, sparkling underneath the Japanese sun.
Yeah, waiting on Benjamin Nelson, I think.
Waiting for the Alabama driver to get out there. Benjamin Nelson taking his time. Hopefully he can get out there.
There he is.
2 strings of multicolored cars, like your wife's necklace hanging off the nightstand, sparkling in the sun.
Off the nightstand in the sun? Wow.
Well, the cars are in the sun, and my wife's necklace is hanging off in the. So you gotta be a little bit of artistic license there. The engines start to harmonize. We are about ready to get underway. Gather up those chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And I think for the first time ever, Robert Hartley leaves the stampede into the first corner. We got some crashing going on in the back. It looks like Post. We'll come back and we'll get this later. It looks like Post and Robert Willinga got into it. Those guys spin off into the tires.
Yep, and Lee Diemer might be involved there as well, or at least he was caught up in it. Benjamin Nelson caught up in that as well. So we'll talk about that a bit later on. Right at the moment, though, we do have our leader is Robert Hartley, followed very, very closely there by Sonny Ketchen. In 3rd place is Aeronam at the moment, and then Pavel Herman in 4th place. Pavel very, very close there to Aero Num. Will he make a challenge on Aero? He backs out of it at the moment as they come into the hairpin for the very first time.
First time into the hairpin. They are 2x2 a little farther back with Yasuda Shiraiwa getting the best of Michael Wright.
Oh, Herman just caught it. He was in big trouble. He was sideways, but he caught it, and he lives to drive another lap.
The Polish driver does a good job keeping the car on the track. Right now he races in 6th position, just ahead of Brian Holmes.
That is correct. And he's just ahead of Brian Holmes. I think that he is in fact in 4th position, and 5th position is Brian Holmes. Brian Holmes has been coming on in leaps and bounds in this car, Bill. Look out for him next season. I think he's going to be one of the top runners next season, but a little late for him for this season, but he's really starting to do well. Of course, the Bay State Hammer, who is our own... where is he on track, by the way? I don't see him, Bill. The Bay State Hammer, Tom Rache.
Tom Rache racing back there in 10th position, just ahead of Jupe Willemsen.
Willemsen, yes, I see him now. Yes, he's got his work cut out. Last week, of course, or 2 weeks ago, he got a podium position, Tom Rache, so he did very, very well there. But this possibly is not one of his favorite tracks, and at the moment he's back in 10th place. But the racing has now settled down. There's virtually single file all the way through from Robert Hartley to 10th place. We're looking at Tom Rache there, and then you've got Jupe Willemsen, a couple of guys in the pits, Patrick Post and Robert Will in the pits at this point in time, having damage sorted out.
Yeah, I think we documented those. We probably didn't get it on screen, but there were those early incidents, a pair of 2-car incidents that affected 4 cars. It's going to hurt them right now. So let's go ahead. We'll focus on the lead here for a minute. We're looking there. We're focusing on Sonny Ketchen as that Dougie Beer camera shot. They come right at you. Now, this is going into Redmond. This is the left-hander that sets up this really technical side. Then they go through Hobbs. This is corner number 9. And you have out there, that's Hartley out in front, Ketchen and Num. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was just saying, very tricky, that Hobbs corner. Then it goes into Mike Knight, turn number 10 there, which is fairly open. You brake and you get down to 3rd gear, and then you come back onto the front stretch once again. As we see, there's a challenge up front by the looks of it, Bill. Side-by-side stuff up there.
Yeah, Robert Hartley weaving back and forth like a loom right now, trying to break the draft of Ketchen. Ketchen took a really wide angle out of 11, went out onto the dirt, onto the grass. There are no track-specific rules here, so you're going to see drivers push that envelope there out of that final corner, sometimes to get a better drive down into 1. But right now, it is the man from Australia all over the back of Robert Hartley.
Yeah, he wants that first position. Very strong at this track is Sonny Ketchen. He also races occasionally in the, as he makes the challenge, he goes side by side now. Sonny, well, actually not quite. He looked for an opportunity. He's right on the heels there. This is on the back stretch here. Will he go to the right? He does. I think he's faking it though, just to show that he's there, trying to fake out Robert Hartley as they go into the hairpin on lap number 3.
Early days yet, and just some fighting going on. It looks like everybody's still pretty clean, other than those 2 instances we had early. It looks like we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, look, 3 cars up front at the moment. Then there's a small break to Pavel Herman and Brian Holmes. And then, of course, we've got Dries Nice, who's joined the party. Dries Nice is sitting in 6th place at the moment, so he's sort of in the second 3-car pack. And he's on the tail end of that with Eric Garcia, the California kid, just behind him. So we've got 3 cars, and then another few cars as well. So 3 groups of cars at the moment.
Now,
and
Robert,
talk about abusing the track. Wow, that was as wide as you ever want to go in the last turn there.
Now, you may be wondering, when we ran down the points, why we didn't talk much about Robert Hartley and that overlay. He's only raced twice this season, usually a pretty regular on the series. Has been a part-timer here.
Challenge from Sonny Ketchen. He's all over Robert Hartley. Was there a tap there? Robert Hartley certainly got all squirrely. There may have been a tap. They will need to look at that on the replay.
Yep, that was coming out of 2, heading down through the what they call the Moss S into 4, and yeah, I think he got into the back of him. I think Ketchum would say, I didn't mean to turn him, I just wanted to rattle his cage. Well, the cage opened up here.
Looks to me like a racing incident might have been Robert just getting a little slow, a little squirrely there, and then of course not giving much opportunity for Sonny to take evasive action. But not sure, that can go either way. We'll leave that to the IRT to decide. But Robert is back in the race. He hasn't got any damage that I can discern. So he's back in there, and he's just lost a whole stack of positions at the moment, down to 14th place, I think.
Yes, we had a good view of it there on the screen, so if you're watching in the YouTube chat, go ahead, give your opinion of how you think that one went. Right now, out in front is Sonny Ketchum, but he wasn't able, even though he got around Hartley, he's not able to run away from his, the man that is in the top of the points right now, and that is the Roland Estonian Errol Numb. But at least Ketchum is out in front. He's got 83 points to make up over the next 5 races. Probably going to have to hope to put a little more cars between him and the man he's trying to chase right now. Numb running in second. Then the newcomer, yes. Pavel Herman back there in third.
Yeah, Pavel Herman is just dropped off now. We had 3 cars up front there with Robert Hartley on the previous lap. Now it's down to 2 cars up front with Pavel Herman in third place. Let's go further back and have a look at who's chasing Pavel. It looks like it's Brian Holmes in 4th place there. He's a little way back. And then Dries Nice, who is quite close to Brian Holmes. So Dries needs to step it up a little bit so that he can get on terms with Brian and fight for that 4th position.
Let's go back to 13th real quick, directors. We're looking at Robert Hartley and our pre-race interview, Eric Coleman. Now, if I told Eric in the pre-race that you were going to be fighting with the pole sitter here early on, he'd say, you're crazy, Soup. Right now, he is in a tight battle with Robert Hartley. Hartley sitting in 13th as they try to run up on the back of the sheriff, Jody Fike.
And Eric Coleman not giving an inch there to Robert. Robert has to fight for it. Good on you, Eric. Oh, is he going to get another tap, Robert? No, there was a hard braking there on the part of Eric. Good job, Eric, to stay off the back there of Robert Hartley. And of course, Robert now has to make up a lot of positions. Robert is really, really good. So I expect him to get through these drivers and eventually work his way up into possibly the top 5 once again.
Nothing changing up front as it is still Ketchum and Numb, Herman, Holmes, and Dries Nice. We look at that Bill, battle with Hartley. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Aaron Numb, you know, he is such a smart driver. I know I say this regularly of Aero, but he is such a smart driver. He never does anything to nothing too risky ever. But yet, whenever the race is ending, he is right there. Excepting for the time where he and Sonny, I think that was, where was that? That was at one of the tracks there that they raced, where they got together. They came together. I think it might have been VIR where they came together. But other than that, it's the racing between these 2 drivers, Sonny Ketchum and Aaron Numb, has always been really clean. And they race so close to each other, really tight. So it's up to, you know, the skill that these drivers have, and they have plenty of it.
Somebody whispering in my ear that incident was at Imola. If you're a fan of Errol Numb, tune back into the Global Sim Racing channel this same time tomorrow. A little self-promotion here as we're going to be covering the Absolute Beginners League. They have their Race of Champions, and Errol Numb was the championship in both their 2 series, the Tony Hayes Cup and the Formula Eagle. That's going to be something exciting to watch as we look right now at Michael Wright, the nephew of one of our favorite drivers, Billy Bob Wright, as he's in a battle with Tom Ratchey there.
Oh, very interesting. I just saw Brian Holmes just give way and allow Dries Nice to pass him. Why would he do that? Very strange.
That moves Nice up into 4th position. Holmes back to 5th.
Yeah, that's correct.
Very, very, very safe back there. The last one just behind Yasura Shiraiwa there in 7th, just behind Eric Garcia. That battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Again, the top 3 remain in the same order. Ketchum and Numb.
Yep, and let's go back just a little way to Tom Ratchey and Michael Wright. They are pretty close to each other, with Michael not exactly challenging Tom at this point, but quite close to Tom as they come onto the front stretch once again. Lap number 6, they go to complete, and Tom Rachi's got his work cut out. He's in 8th place and Michael Wright in 9th place. And look at Robert Hartley. He's already moved up to 11th place, so he is coming and coming fast.
Here's the intense battle on the screen right now. This is 12th position we're looking at. That's Carlo de la Vasquez up in front. He is being hounded by Jordy Fike, the sheriff, trying to look for some way around. Watching the whole thing happen are those two guys that we saw earlier back there, and that is Eric Coleman, and Lepre is in there as well. Now the battle, now they go side by side down the long back straight. In the preferred position, it is Fike. On the outside, I don't think if Vasquez is going to be able to keep that car out in front. Fike's going to have the inside line, Richard, as they head into 5. Look for the sheriff probably to get that 12th position, 11th position.
And he goes in tight into the corner. They go very, very close. There's a little bit of a problem there, as we saw that Claudio got a little bit loose there, and Eric Coleman had to back off a little bit to give room, which he did, and a great job he did there as well. But we got through. Go ahead.
Coleman really wide there through that angle. Went off in the grass, but got it gathered up. Coleman out there racing. It looks like a cow-colored car. He's got a smiling little cow on the hood. He's got cow spots on it. As we ride on board with Lepre. Lepre trying to see if he can melt Coleman for that spot, but Coleman's going to have none of it. Racing in 14th spot.
The big mover so far in the race has been Dries Nice. He's moved up to 4th position. He's being followed by Yasuta Saraiva and Eric Garcia, the California kid. Those are the two guys in 5th and 6th position. Brian Holmes must have a problem, Bill. He's moved all the way back to 7th place now.
Yeah, Nice, of course, up 4 spots. Biggest mover up front, our biggest mover overall is the sheriff, Jordy Fike. He is actually up, what would that be, 6 spots, 18th to 12th. What a great run from Jordy. Really not his modus operandi. Usually, Richard, Jordy just sits back there and just is patient, but right now he's on the move.
Yeah, he's this track, you know, they are aficionados of this track, people who love it, and then there are people who hate it. Now, Jordy obviously is quite comfortable here because he is definitely on the move. Robert Hartley, by the way, is still in 11th place. He's got about 5 seconds now to get to 10th position, so he's got his work cut out. And of course, bear in mind, as we see a challenge there on Jordy, now that is Claudio. Claudio has not given up, and Eric Coleman as well has not given up. So these three are putting on quite a show here. Jordy Fike will be happy that we're just talking generally about him and not putting the commentator's curse on him. But he's in a good battle here and getting some good screen time, and rightly so.
This is really, we want to go back and cover some of the other stuff, but right now this is really good racing going on. Coleman doing a good job.
And Rodrigo Lepre in there as well, not forgetting Rodrigo Lepre. He is just sitting back there behind, let's see, that's 15th place behind Eric Coleman as they go through turn number 10 back onto the front stretch again. Looks as if Jordy's got a little break on these guys, but this was some really, really good racing that just happened, and it ain't over yet.
We're seeing the Tom.
Are we getting information? Tom Wright is in trouble or has been in trouble?
Can't see. The Ratchie is gone. Maybe it might be a pit stop here. Ratchie might be the first guy to bite the bullet here, coming in with 17 laps to go. I want to go back up front because the plot has thickened up here. Remember, it was Katchen and Numb that were running away with this, but look who has joined the party. It is Pavel Herman. He's right in the mix now.
Yes, he's not far off the car there of Aero Numb. Is as they go through the tight sections at the back of the course at the moment there. They're going down that short little straight to turn number 8, which brings them into Redmond. Pavel Herman is there. So this is a case here, Bill, of a little bit of patience from Pavel and just working slowly, working on that each corner and making up time on the two leaders. As we see that Kanjan now has a little break on Aero Numb, so Kanjan very comfortable out in front, and it looks as if Aero Numb may be struggling just a little bit to keep up at the moment.
Sometimes I have to smile at some of the camera angles that our director comes up with. A little while back, we had that kind of the helicopter drone shot there that got all three of those cars in there. Some great camera work by Dougie Beard and Joe Peak. You see them right there. There's your three leaders, nose to tail, about 2 car lengths between each of them. Of course, Richard, there's pit stops that are coming, so that's where maybe Herman might have a disadvantage. It cost him last time out where he was running up front. When the pit stops came, he ended up back in 6th. Maybe he's learned a little bit from last time at when we were at Silverstone.
Yeah, that's true. Now, for those of you who may be your first time watching, and shame on you for being your first time, you should have been here all series long. But the pit stops, there's an enforced pit stop due to the fact that they only have 30% fuel. And so the fact that Tom Ritchie went into the pits and we were a little concerned, it seems as if that was just the regulation pit stop and Tom was doing an early pit stop, Bill, so that he could try and break away from any problems that he was and get some clean laps and have enough fuel to finish the race from there on.
Yes, they start with, actually what they do if you're really new, they shrink the tanks. The tanks, they start full, but it's just a very, very small tank. I guess it only holds like, I don't know what it does. It's about 30% of what usually would hold.
13.5 liters or 3.6 gallons it is, I think.
There you go. That's perfect. So you start the race with a full tank of 3.6 gallons. So you have to wait till the tank empties out enough that you can come in and fill up and get there. And that's what Tom Ritchie did. He waited till the tank got empty enough that he could come in and get the rest of the fuel he needs to go all the way. And right now, the Bay State Hammer, even though he runs in 16th, he is the leader of all the cars who have pitted.
Yes, and we will be looking at him when we start to compare the pit stops of the guys in front of him. And we will see where he finishes up, because even though he's in 16th place, as Bill just mentioned, he is, of course, and has a good opportunity to run some great laps, get a little bit of draft going, and improve his position, even though he has, it looks as if he's so far back. The fact is, he's done his pit stop. He's ready to go to the end of the race.
And let's give you the delta time. There is 40 seconds between the leader and Tom Ritchie when they came across the start-finish line last time. That means that Sonny Ketchen has to get the car slowed down, stay under the pit limit speed, get to his box, fill it up, stay under the pit limit speed, then get the car revved up and back out there without losing 40 seconds.
That is correct. And at this track, 40 seconds is not enough. It's about 35 seconds needed for a pit stop. So Tom Ritchie could be anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds, as Tom battling there with one of the slower cars and passing him. That was Trip Smith that he just passed. So he's moving his way forward from 16th position, and he's I think he's going to be a factor towards the end of this race. He's doing a great job at the moment.
That was a pass for position, even though Trip Smith has not come in for his stop yet. We can take a second and look at Tripp right now, as he's in a nice little battle back there for position. I guess with Zachary Rubin running in. That gets battle for 15th position. Two guys we don't see very much. Rubin running in 15th, Tripp in 16th.
And Bill, now we found out from the last race at Silverstone that taking tires, at least 2 tires, if because that may be all that you can afford in terms of time to take, in the allotted time to fill up your car with fuel, because tires and fuel go onto the car and into the car at the same time. So we found out that tires are affected by, well, very much affected by the track conditions. And even though it's a little cool today, you will see drivers taking a couple of tires. We saw that Tom did take some tires, and by the looks of it, Tom took 4 tires because he sat there for 45 minutes in the pit. So he is gambling that he needs 4 tires, because this is a track that is tough on tires, Bill.
Yes, he was in there for, I don't see him in there that long. I know he took left sides. I'm watching his pit stop right now, so keep an eye on. I think, Richard, he only took left side tires here, which would make sense with those, like corner number 4 and the hairpin and the last corner, all those serious right-hand corners.
Yeah, you're quite right, Bill. I was looking at his pit lane time. He spent 45 seconds on pit lane and then almost 11 seconds in the pits, actually. Now, that is only enough time for 2 tires. Quite correct. I stand corrected.
Well, between the two of us, we'll get it straight. We're looking here at Coleman. Look at this fight
battle.
going on. Woo-hoo. That's with Jeroen Urso. That's with he's fighting with Vasquez right now.
Claudio, Claudio, they've been battling all race long and it's not over yet. So Eric Coleman, despite what he said in our interview with him, he's having a good time out there, Bill.
He is having a lot of fun. He's getting a lot of fun out of his dollar invested here. And that's what it's really all about. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, let's go back to the front here. There's just having a quick look. It looks as if everybody is just holding station. That's going to keep the way that it is now. Perhaps the gaps might change slightly, but we are in lap 13, so we just passed the halfway mark in this. Well, yeah, just past the halfway mark. 25 laps in this race, Bill. As we see Pavel now just closing that gap between himself and Aeronom just a little bit, so he is coming. We saw the potential of Pavel in the last race there at Silverstone, and he's showing that same form here at Okayama.
I've been told that Pavel's nickname is Pee-wee, and right now Pee-wee is trying to all over the back of the Roland Estonian. He's there. Be interesting if he wants to force this issue. Remember, there's that stop coming, but look at this as he's now this is a passing zone here, Richard, through 7. If he gets a good run, he might be able to do it before he gets to Redmond.
Yeah, Redmond is people tend to dive in on the inside there. He's not going to do it. Yeah, he's not close enough. But and this is second gear corner. A lot of second gear corners in this on this track. They'll go ahead.
Can we go back and get a replay? Maybe about 30 seconds ago, going through the hairpin of Vasquez. Boy, he just got worked over by Coleman. I don't know if our director's going to be able to do it or not. Coleman just gave him bump after bump after bump after bump. Let's see if we go coming into the hairpin here. This will be, watch Coleman in the cow-colored machine. As here, it must not have been there. Let's stay with it a bit. You'll see him gets on. It's probably coming up here in a second. He was really. Oh, here we go. The hairpin's coming up. All right, that was through 4. Now we come in. Let's stay on this a minute here. This is worth watching.
Oh,
look at him trying to go back and all over the place on this replay, trying to find a way around. Now Vasquez takes this defensive line, and Coleman says, "What?" Gives him a bump, and then he gets up and gets him again. Gives him a pretty good shot.
A good time. And Robert Hartley, our pole sitter, is in the pits at the moment doing his regulation pit stop. I see left side tires going on there, and so he will be falling back a little bit from his position. There he comes out of the pits. That was a nice quick pit stop, 13 seconds in the actual pit stall. So good stop for Robert Hartley.
Now he is going to come out behind Tom Ratchey by about 0.8 of a second. Look into this battle now. Here's this again. The cow machine really working hard on Vasquez.
I think he is giving us some really good value for money right here.
It is the best show on there. They are side by side now as they head down into the hairpin. Now, this time he has the preferred line. Let's stay on and see if he can do it under braking. He's got Vasquez fixing up. He's going to back out, and he's a little more polite this time.
Yeah, and we've got a European, Coleman's from Holland, I believe, and Hispano-America, I would assume that is South America, for Claudio. So 2 different continents battling each other for what is the 10th position. So it's quite an important position, the 10th place, because we tend to view the top 10 as being the drivers who've done a really good job in a race.
Well, in America, we have something called cow tipping. Let's hope that's not the case right here in Japan.
Oh, please explain. I don't understand that.
Well, if you're a youngster and if you imbibed a little bit too much, you sneak up on sleeping cows and apparently you tip them over. Seems kind of cruel to me, but that's something we do here in America.
Cow tipping. Wow. That's the first time I've heard that one. Thank you for informing us of that particular pastime.
It's not practiced in the city very often. You have to be of a certain
I wouldn't.
Certain
I doubt you find a lot of cows just parked on corners or something.
Well, right now they continue to run in order up front. 1, 2, 3.
All right, let's.
But Herman is really working Aeronum right now.
Yes, yes, and this is of course working in favor of Sonny Canton, who's pushing very hard. These three drivers are pushing hard, Bill. They are taking every liberty with the track limits here, because of course there are no there are no incident points counted. Now they're coming up on a slower car here in a tricky part of the course. Let's find out who that is that they have to negotiate past. That is Zachary Rubin, who's running in 20th place, so effectively last place on the track. So let's hope that he does the right thing and just stays out of the way as the leaders come through.
Now it looks like, am I looking at, yes, the Polish driver has pulled up. Pavel Herman's going to come in first. Staying out is Kanchan and Num. So if we can look at Herman and we can see if we can pick up Tom Ratchie. Ratchie is still working his way through Redmond right now. That's corner 8, 9, a few more corners, and he'll be onto the main straight.
Yes, and that's 12th position for Ratchie, and Pavel Herman still hasn't reached his pit stall. Now he's in the pit stall, he's revving up, he's getting his fuel. I'm not sure whether he took any tires, I didn't see, but there he goes. He's out on track now. I think he's going to come out well and truly in front of Tom Ratchie.
Yeah, Ratchie just crossing the start-finish line now, so yep. Herman's going to get that spot. We're going to call it by about 5 seconds. And Richard, that's pretty much what you said when Ratchie was about 40 seconds behind the leader. You said it took 35 to get in and out. Your math was good.
Correct. My mathematics worked there in that particular case. Not always the case that it does work.
The
now,
problem is, yeah, he's stuck right now behind Jordy Fike. See, this is where Pavel wants to be fast, because the leaders, Kanchan and Num out there, are running hot laps. There's nobody in front of them. And Pavel's stuck behind the car that's yet to come in.
And then some words between the two of them. I saw Pavel Herman is talking, and Jordy Fike responded. I haven't got the voice on, so I didn't hear what was said there, but certainly some exchange between those two drivers as they go through the back section of the course.
And look at this. This is Urson we're looking at in the mix now with the battle we've been watching the whole time. Oh, and there goes Coleman, but he saves it. Whoa, the milk is going to sour in the cow car, but he gets it going. That's what you call a milkshake. He's got that now ahead of Eric Garcia, the California kid. Remember, some of these guys have pitted.
Bill, I would assume. Here's Aero Num coming into the pit. Sorry to cut in there. Aero Num is, of course, taking left side tires. I'm got my eye on that at the moment. So let's find out where Pavel Herman is, as Aero Num does a lightning fast pit stop. He's on his way already. Where's Pavel Herman? Still coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, getting crushed. And once again, the pit stop's not the friend of the Polish driver.
Yeah, let's just compare those pit stops. So Pavel Herman spent, let's see, 15 seconds in his pit stall. That's a long time compared to Aero Num's 9.4 seconds. So that's like 6 seconds difference. And Pavel needs to learn the art of making fast pit stops.
Yeah, at the competition level in the MX-5 World Tour, you just can't afford to give away that many seconds. There is a randomness to it, but I don't think that was all random. That's a pretty big interval there. Sonny Kanchan now, still your leader.
Now Sonny is he's got a. There's a bunch of guys behind him as well. Dries Nice, Yasuta Shirewa, Brian Holmes, and Michael Wright. Those guys have to do their pit stops, but of course all our eyes are on Sonny Kanchan. When will he come into the pit? Certainly not on this lap, as he goes to complete another lap. Lap number 17 he will complete when he crosses the line, and getting really close. Sonny will not be taking tires, I don't think, because he's going for that lightning fast splash and dash and getting out of there as fast as he can, Bill, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the leaders of the cars who have pitted. Now, it looks like Nice has just come in right now, so he's going to lose some spots. Errol Num and Herman. Let's go ahead and see if we can look at Nice. He was in a great battle with, who was he racing with? Oh, with the Japanese driver, Yasuo Shiraiwa. Shiraiwa is notorious for staying out long, though. So, Dries Nice in right now. And Herman goes by him. And we want to see if Ratchie... Oh, this will be interesting. Here comes Tom Ratchie.
Yep.
And let's look at this. Nice is
Tom
rolling.
Ratche passed.
And did Ratchy got him.
Yeah, Dries Nice comes out. Let's see, he's in about 11th place when he comes out, so not the best stop for him either. Even though there was a good pit stop, 11.6 seconds, he is beaten well and truly there by, well, Robert Hartley's in front of him now, Eric Garcia and Tom Ratche in front of him.
Yeah, a great battle. If we go to 7th, we'll follow up on the leaders in a minute. Here's a battle. I don't think Vasquez has come in yet. This is a battle for 7th. He's not being shown the blue flag, but really it's a blue flag. There's Ratchy. And how about the California kid in that dark-colored machine on the outside as they head into the hairpin? Ratchy's got nowhere to go. Well, now he does because Vasquez pulls over and gets in front of Garcia. Now he comes back in front of Ratchy. Oh, the Base 8 Hammer is going to explain why he is the Base 8 Hammer in a minute if you keep weaving back and forth like that. Tom trying to find his way around. Joining the party now is Dries Nice. No, it's Hartley back there. Sorry.
Oh, very tight racing here. Claudio's been in all kinds of racing situations. Now he goes down the middle of the track. That's not the preferred line. Tom takes it to him there. And of course, behind them, Robert Hartley as well, who wants a piece of that action. Robert Hartley wants to get by. But Claudio doing all kinds of tricks there to stay ahead of Tom Ratche. Not the best. There he goes.
Okay,
now.
we got to go to the lead.
Pit stop. Yep,
Going to steal from a second. Our leader came in, catch it, and he got out just in front of Aero Num. They come out the exact same formation they went in as. So now, with 7 laps to go, we have a sprint for the lead between those two.
Yeah, and Aero Num has been good here, but Sonny Canton is a master of this track. Can he stay ahead of Aero Num? We're starting to get really pushy now.
We got to go to 4th.
Go onto the backstretch. Go ahead.
We got to go look at 4th position right now because it is just intense. This is with Hartley is in the mix. This is Holmes now in the mix. There's Ratchy coming up. They are 2 by 2. Back there in the dark color scene is Garcia. This something tells me they're not going to get this. They are 6 going in there right. Michael Wright in that mix as well as Curtis, the Japanese driver. It is a pinata full of bees. The 2 cars out in front on the outside leading the way. That is Hartley and Holmes. Remember, Hartley was on the pole. Then he fall back. Now ducking to the inside is the Base 8 Hammer. Tom Ratchy, let's see if he tries to outbrake Holmes into the hairpin. He does. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish the job. Holmes is on the outside. He's going to get a little momentum. And now Holmes will have the preferred position as they come into revolver. Holmes gives Ratchy a little pushover. Ratchy has to fall back. And right now it's running Hartley, Holmes, Ratchy, Garcia, Nice, Wright, and Shiraiwa. Woo!
Well done there, Bill. And whilst that was happening, there was a challenge for the lead going into the hairpin on the previous lap by Aero Num. He's challenged very strongly, tried to get past Sonny Canton. I think we have a similar situation to 2 weeks ago where Sonny has not taken tires and Aero Num trying to make his tires work for him. But this track is a lot tighter than Silverstone where they were last time, and Sonny knows every inch of this track. So Sonny managed to avert that situation and did not get past. So here they go back onto the front stretch again where we saw Sonny for the first time going defensive, and I think we'll see that again here as Aero Num is coming at him now on lap number 20. Only 5 laps left after they complete this one. Sonny going defensive again. Here comes Aero Num on the outside. Sonny defending that inside, now crossing over as he's quite entitled to do to get into position for the hairpin once again.
Richard, what we're going to do is pay some bills right now, but I want you to keep an eye on that lead and interrupt the 60-second back marker review brought to you by Eagle Nest Tavern as soon as Arrow makes his move, which I think he will do. Although he's a veteran of the series, he should know right now that our segment is going to be responsible for this. We're going to look at Zachary Rubin right now, the number 57 car, last car on the lead lap, running in 20th position. He's got about 7 seconds to get to Trip Smith, who's running in 19th spot. Another 24 seconds up, my goodness, is all the way up to Lee Deemer, the number 68 machine, as he goes off onto the grass right now, running in 18th position, just a little bit behind the Alabama driver Benjamin Nelson, late to the grid, right now running in 17th position in that Planet I get the sponsor on this. It's Planet Express from the you know what cartoon it's from, Futurama. Thank you, Joe. Peak giving my ear. Up to Eric Coleman, running in 16th position. Things have settled down a little bit from him. Claudio Vasquez running in 15th spot. He's got about 4.5 seconds to get to Jeroen Ursum. Jeroen Ursum running in, Jeroen in 14th. We'll round out the last guys here. Robert Lepre running in 13th, a couple seconds behind the Sheriff Jordy Fike, who's made it to 12th. Two more drivers. Jupp Willemsen in 11th position. Don't have to put any money in the jar. I actually got that right. And then the last car, top 10, gets us to that mess. Michael Wright running in 10th. There you have it. 60-second back marker salute by Eagle Nest Tavern. Richard, what have you been watching?
I have been watching the fascinating battle here between our leaders, Sonny Kanchan and indeed Aeronam, who makes a move once again. And Sonny, they go side by side into the hairpin, and Sonny Kanchan once again gets given room there by Aeronam. You have to wonder how many times Aeronam's going to make way for Sonny Kanchan in there. Although Sonny Kanchan, being the inside driver, does have the line into the corner and can rightfully claim the corner as his own. There's a slower car up front there as these guys are now getting to the back end of the race. Lap number 21 they're on at the moment. 4 laps to go after they complete this lap. Sonny Kanchan in the lead. Second place, Aeronam, and it's only these two drivers in the position to win this race at the moment. Out in front of them, there's Zachary Rubin, who is a slower car, and he will be passed by the leaders and on this lap. The Sonny Kanchan very good out of turn number 10, the last corner, and gets a little break there on Aeronam. But it ain't over yet. Aero really closes up when they get onto the backstretch.
There we go. As the back marker gets out of the way, keep an eye on that one. We're going to take the camera, put it back on 6th position. Richard, please interrupt me when Aero makes his move. We're going to go back and look at 6th right now. This is Tom Ratchey. Now, the two drivers that they were racing with, Robert Hartley up in 4th, and Brian Holmes, have left these guys behind. But now it's still a great battle, with Ratchey being traced by Garcia, Dries Nice in the mix as well, Yasira Shiraiwa back there running 5th in line. Let me count that again, 4th in line, and then the last one in the 5-car train is Michael Wright. A great battle going on back here. So fighting all over the track right now.
And Bill, these guys, it's amazing. These are incredible drivers. I'm talking about Sonny Kanchan and Aeronam. 1:44.8 was Sonny's qualifying time. 1:45.3 was his last lap time, and this is after 21 laps on a tough track that's hard on tires. He did not take any tires, and at the moment he is really looking to just do everything right, because Aeronam is not giving him an inch. Aeronam is right there with him. This is going to go right down to the wire, Bill.
You can see on screen Tom Ratchey taking that defensive line down into the hairpin, defending that position from Eric Garcia. Dries Nice back there, Shira Iro watching the whole thing. Richard, we can talk as we watch this battle. We can talk about the battle for the lead, though. If you were Sonny Kanchan for the last lap, where do you want to be?
This track, you always want to be out in front. You can defend pretty easily on this track. The only really good opportunity for overtaking is at the hairpin, and it's quite easy to defend there by taking the inside line to the hairpin, as we'll see Sonny doing in this lap. Just to have a look, get the cameras on Sonny Kanchan. You'll see he will go defensive here. He may not need to on this lap. We'll see how close Aeronam is, but Aero now very close. Aero's very good through here. You'll see he'll just go to the right hand side of the track and defend the position, and of course he's going to make a liar of me because he feels he's got a good enough gap to stay on the outside and get the best line into the hairpin.
It's a question is a couple things. Does Aero want the position now? Maybe he wants to make the pass on the next to the last lap so he can be out in front. He's right nose to tail.
Not going to happen, Bill. Aero would try 2 laps ago and the lap after that to get the position.
Let's go to 4th. This is Holmes on the inside of Hartley. Again, as they come into the same hairpin. Boy, if you want to buy a ticket, buy it at corner number 5. Let's see if Holmes with the defensive line, Hartley on the outside, Hartley the pole center, they go 2 by 2 through there. But what will happen now is that outside line will have the momentum if he can get there, but he can't. So able to close the door into Revolver was Holmes.
And the battle up front, it is still fascinating. Keep on that one, Bill. I'll stay on the front guys here at the moment as they come up to a slower car. That's Trip Smith, who gets out of the way. Give that man a bear claw.
There you go.
As we see Sonny Canchin now going kind of defensive down the front straight, trying to break a little bit of the draft. Just a car length or so. That's all he wants to try and gain here. He's not going to gain much more than that. But it's all about car lengths at the moment. They are that close. And this is going to go down to the wire. This is lap number 24. It's the second last lap. As we see Sonny going really wide. They're trying to use every inch of the track and then some to try and maintain an advantage over Aeronum. Of course, Bill, the harder you try, sometimes the worse off you are because you tend to make mistakes. As we see now, Sonny Canchin going defensive, not taking any chances as they go down the backstretch once again towards turn number 5. Aeronum following. Aeronum has got an opportunity. Will he dive in there? Aeronum's a better driver than that. He's not close enough, so he won't dive in. But they are that close. This is the last lap coming up after they complete this one. Bill.
We'll follow on that as we ride with the leaders. Let's cut back quickly, Director, if you can. Can we get back to 4th position? This is Hartley again, this battle for Holmes. Making the move. Richard, keep an eye on the leader. Butt in if you see them make a move. This is Holmes making a move on the outside. This is give you a little education of what Aeronum and Sonny Canchin are going to try to do the next time around. They will get one more bite at that hairpin.
And Sonny Canchin really pouring on the coals now as they go through turns 9 and into turn number 10. Sonny will push as hard as he can to maintain a gap. He's got a nice little gap there. He gives no regard at all to the track limits and gets a good break there. He's now 0.6 of a second ahead of Aeronum. Aeronum stayed on the track proper as they go into the first corner, and Sonny Canchin now pushing as hard as he can. He can't afford to make any mistakes here. He hasn't made a mistake so far, but then neither has Aeronum. This is the last lap. The white flag is out, and they will be racing for the checkered flag as Sonny Canchin has a good break going down into turn number 4, which is Atwood Curve for the very last time. Bill, back to you, my friend.
They negotiate Atwood. I think Num is close enough if he can get a good drive out of 4, and he's about 3 car lengths back right now. Both drivers scooting up in the chair, using their Flintstone feet, trying to get those little lawnmower engines, those MX-5s to go. I don't know if Num's going to be able to get there. He's going to really have to force the issue. He looks to the inside. Can he do it under braking? It's hard to outbrake Sonny Canchin. They work through the hairpin. Now they are nose to tail as they come into Revolver. I don't know where that Num is going to have a shot. He'll maybe have one more shot out of 7. That's Piper going down into Redmond if he can get a good run. Watch them exploit the boundaries here as both drivers go all the way up, but I don't think Num's going to have anything for him this time as they go into 8. I think and it's going to be too little too late as they only have the left-hander and the right-hander to go. Then they'll be on the throttle through corner number 10. I don't think Sonny is going to be able to worry about Aeronum right now. Num's not going to have anything for the Australian driver. They work through 10. One more corner, and that's 11. Unless Canchin makes a horrible mistake and puts it out in the grass, this one is going to go round number 8 of the MX-5 World Tour, brought to you by Heusinkveld Engineering, goes to Sonny Canchin. Second place goes to Aeronum. Hartley's going to easily get 3rd. Let's go back and look at Hartley and Holmes.
Wow, good racing from the top 2 there.
Hartley out of front. Now this is a little closer. Holmes in back. He might have a shot if he can get a good run through 11. They head down to the start-finish line. Holmes really pushing it out in the dirt, but it's going to be too little too late as they get to the start-finish line. He's trying to get there, but no. It's going to be Hartley. Let's go back and look at Rathy and Nice. Oh, it's going to be Rathy. It's going to get 7. It's going to get, here's how that's going to finish up. Oh, it looks like Dries Nice got him. Dries Nice got Ratchy, Shiroiwa, Garcia, and Wright.
What a good race. Lots of battles there. and a good battle at the end there between teammates Robert Hartley and Brian Holmes for that fourth position. In fact, for the fourth position it was.
You need quad cameras to keep a track of all the racing that was going on out there. 18 cars finish on the lead lap. What we're going to do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel is take a short break, but don't go far away. We'll come back to run down the complete finishing order, talk to some drivers, and close up shop. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Round 8 from Okayama, the Heusinkveld Engineering MX-5 World Tour. And we just had a dandy race that we just wrapped up. And let's go ahead and run through that finishing order right now. It is the man from Australia. He had 83 points to make up on Aeronum. He's going to knock off a few of them. Of course, we're talking about Sonny Ketch, and the Roland Estonia finishes second. Newcomer Pavel Herman talking after the post-race. How are you guys so fast in those pit stops? Something you're going to have to work out because that's costing you. The Polish driver finishes in third. Robert Hartley and Brian Holmes had a duel for the last 4 or 5 laps. Hartley gets the best of it. Our pole sitter who had issues going to finish in fourth. Brian Holmes gets fifth. Dries Nice, Tom Ratchie, Yasura Shiraiwa, Eric Garcia, and Michael Wright. They were all in a battle. Those 5 guys battling out. That's the order they finish up to round out your top 10, Richard.
Yeah, and that was a great battle from all of those guys, and we gave them some really good screen time as well. In 11th place, it was Hugh Williamson. Then 12th place, Rodrigo Lepri. 13th place, Jordi Fike. He was one of those fighting there for a while with the guys up front of him in the top 10. Then 14th place, a good finish for Jeroen Ursum. 15th place, Claudio Del Pino Vasquez, who was in all kinds of battles with everybody. 16th place was Eric Coleman, who we just spoke about. Benjamin Nelson finished in 7th place, and Benjamin typed in the chat, Bill, before the race, is that let's put on a good race for Soup, and Richard was his message. And he finished in 17th place. 18th place was Lee Diemer. 19th place, Trip Smith. And 20th place, Zachary Rubin.
And then in the final 2 spots, Patrick Post and Robert Willinga in 22nd spot. Okay, who can we talk to? We look in the interview room. We have our, well, not our race winner, but we go ahead and we have the 2nd place driver here, Errol Num. Errol, you did everything you could. You just, you couldn't get there on Sunny.
Yeah, I think I did my maximum because I think this is like the MX-5 specialist tracks, and I don't race MX-5, so I think that was the main reason.
Yes, you don't race the MX-5, although I did notice in prepping for tomorrow's Absolute Beginner that you're able to win over there in the Tony Hayes Cup. And of course, we'll be having you tomorrow. What's the difference between, I know you're really good in the Skippy, what's the big difference between you? They're both underpowered between the Skippy and the MX-5.
I'm not sure. I think they're pretty similar, but I don't know that yeah.
You know, is it you don't spend as much time in the Mazda as you do the Skippy?
Actually, I don't spend time in any of them.
Oh, that's see, those of us who challenge for, we talked about practice right there. When you have talent, who needs practice? That's what we have to say. Well, before we let you go here, what is your favorite car then? What car do you like racing the most here on the iRacing service?
DP, I think it's still the best.
The DP?
Hey, Skippy.
Oh, the Skippy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your 2nd place today. Yeah, you made, at least you kept Sonny Ketchen honest. He's going to close the gap on you a little bit, but you're still out in front. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Errol Num, your 2nd place finisher today. And here comes our race winner, Sonny Ketchen. I guess we're going to be able to talk to him. Richard, go ahead, talk to your buddy.
Sonny Ketchen, congratulations, my good friend, on a win. I had my money on you, and you did not disappoint. You looked very determined from lap 1 to win this one. Tell us about your race.
Hey, first of all, hi guys. Good to be back in the talking to you guys in the booth. Finally raced. Got a good finish after a bit of drama. But this race in Okayama was kind of also had a bit of drama. First of all, apologize to Robert. That was unintentional. It was a bit of a net code. I didn't get any contact at my end, but it would have been great if we had a 3-way side-by-side finish at the end. But that and went into the race really confident, like you said, Rach. Usually Okayama is no drama for me. Was pretty confident, but not without a challenge. And New Era was right up there along with Robert. How good was Robert? Once again, shout out to him for a great qualifying lap. That was awesome. And it was all about, look, I did not take tires. It's like I didn't learn my lesson from Silverstone last week. I didn't take tires again because if I'd have taken, it would have costed me more time. So I had to do that math while I was entering the pit lane. And when I came out, I knew I'd be ahead of Euro, and I had to defend for my life. Pretty much that. that was a race towards the end, and Nero was telling me he tried his best as well to try and. There were a couple of moments where he could have passed me, but I think I was survived basically. Brought it home.
Yeah, it was obvious from watching the race that you were better in that very last part of the course from sort of turn 7. Well, from the hairpin basically through to the first corner, you were better than Aero. But Aero was able to catch after turn 4, coming up the back straight there, using the draft a little bit to catch up again with you. And that battle continued virtually all race long. And it was yours to win from lap number 1. Yes, we had the unfortunate incident there with Robert Hartley. Looked like a racing incident certainly from where I was sitting and watching, but we'll leave the IRT to have a look at that. But so you're back again, and how are you feeling? Still 4 races to go to the end of the championship. You've got a shot at getting it back.
Yeah, I'd say bring it on. Can't wait for next weekend. Bazooka.
Okay. All right, Sonny. Look, welcome back to the booth, and well, we love talking to you, and we love seeing you and Aeronum battle it out. You two are certainly the standout drivers in this series at the moment. Although Pavel Herman, once he learns to do fast pit stops, he could be a factor, don't you think?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, it's great. After the race, I had a chat with him as well, congratulating him, and I'm pretty sure the other guys like Pavel and they're right up there, and it's going to be really, really tough. It's one of the hardest seasons that I've raced so far, and I'm looking forward to racing along with them. I'm so happy that everyone's kind of mastering this car as well. So kudos to them. Well done. And Eero too. Congrats, Eero. That was a great finish as well for you, and well done. And it kind of reminds me, sorry, Rich, it kind of reminds me of the previous Okayama race that we had in season 11, with Nika following me. Yeah, it was the same sort of thing. Yeah, we remember that quite well. Bill, any questions for our winner?
No, just give him congratulations, and you're knocking off of that point lead a little bit at a time. You got 4 more races to get it done. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. Good to talk to you again. And get well soon, Patrick, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for bringing that up, Sonny. Sonny Ketchen, your winner here today. Again, Richard, you're from Australia. I wonder if being around Australia makes Sonny more, or those around Sonny, more susceptible to the netcode. Do you think location has something to do with those ghost contacts, don't you think?
It does. As we saw at Spa, you can have 2 very, very different recordings of what happens in a corner. And I experienced it in a practice session today at Daytona, where myself and another driver went into the bus stop there together, and he slammed into me and hit me pretty hard and damaged my car. And as far as his replay was concerned, he never touched me. So iRacing needs to tighten up their code, I think, with regards to drivers driving closely to each other from different parts of the world.
Yeah, so keep that in mind if you're racing around those guys with the funny accents. They may not be seeing things quite the way that you're seeing things. Hey, we'd like to thank everybody at the Quality Racing Sim-dicate for organizing this series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Thank to Heusinkveld Engineering. Affordable simulation software and hardware are thought to be limited use for race teams and drivers, but their simulation solutions bring professional results within reach for any race team or driver without having to compromise on realism or engineering value. They offer a broad array of products and services such as advanced vehicle simulation software and hardware. They are able to simulate any combination of race car and track, including full-fledged cockpit environments. With unparalleled realism, Heusinkveld Engineering Solutions are currently being used by professional teams and drivers in the Formula Ford, GP3, GP2, and Formula 1. Now these products are available for any professional team or driver looking for an edge in racing. Be a better race car driver and get in touch today. Also, Thanks to Six Sideways. I need to apologize. I didn't give them their plug in the opening segment of this series, of this broadcast. We'll do it right now with a little more enthusiasm normally. Thanks to Six Sideways. They are a full-service motorsports company based in the wonderful town of Sebring, Florida, which currently competes in the SCCA Pro Racing Battery Tender Mazda MX-5 Cup Championship. Six Sideways offers race car build preparation, rentals, transportation, maintenance, trackside support, setup service, driver coaching, marketing, media services, race car storage, and even more. Contact them with your motorsports needs at, you guessed it, sixsideways.com. Richard?
And thank you very much to the companies, the equipment, and the software that you see on the screen in a second that we use on the broadcast. There it is. The original music that you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. Look at the screen, the links there to see how to contact each of them. The Heusinkveld Engineering MX-5 World Tour returns in 1 week, May the 13th, for round number 9 from Suzuka. And we heard Sunny saying there, bring it on. GSRC, of course, will be there to bring you all the action, and we hope that you find the time to tune into that broadcast. If you would like to find out more about us, the Global Sim Racing channel, such as the dates for upcoming broadcasts, or to ask us to broadcast an event for you, your best bet is to go to our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. We are also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel. Back to you, Soup.
And finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Richard Losper, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.